Good afternoon, people. It's mid-February here in the UK. A bit chilly. We had a good old frost this morning. In fact, the canal was frozen and we had to wait until this afternoon before we could start operating the crane because of the ice on the canal. But anyway, you've just seen a little bit of time lapse. We have Hector back out of the water again, and this time we are revisiting this prop shaft issue that we had earlier on in the year when we docked him, but we didn't have time to have a look at the problem and can't really lift it with one hand, but we've got quite a lot of play on this phosphor bronze bearing, so we're going to strip the propeller off and get the shaft out and take the bearing out, the phosphor bronze bearing that's in there out, and get another one made. Well, that was a messy job. So here we have all of the stern gear out, disassembled. So this is a phosphor bronze bush that fits inside this end here. That's the outboard side to the propeller, which is looking rashed up, and we're going to change that. And then this component here is called the stuffing box. That has a gland inside here. That bit's probably all right. We'll get that cleaned up, and then obviously we've got a half coupling, that's all right. And then we have the shaft, and the shaft shouldn't look like that. It should be like this, uniformed all the way along, and that's where the packing has been eaten into it. We do use a graphite packing, not a PTFE style one, but over time that's what happens. So let's get this all cleaned up and get on with this job. Right, with the stern gear being away at the repairers, there is another job that we want to get on with on Hector, and that is the ceiling. It needs a repaint. It's got some black marks on it, and the main culprit is this stove. When you open the lid to put coal on it, you do get a bit of smoke coming out of it, and a bit of that does come up and it goes on the ceiling. So it's a bit of a job because this ceiling runs all the way through into the bathroom. So first job first is get all the lights down, shower curtain rail, all that jazz, and get it prepped for undercoat. Okay, so that's everything rubbed down, and I've papered everywhere because I'm going to be rollering. It looks a bit like the inside of a parcel in here now, because the splashes from the roller, and Jane will go mental if I get it on anything. All the way through here into the bathroom, same thing, it's all prepped up. So let's crack on and get the undercoat going. Right, so I've been on this all week, and we are now at the final coat of eggshell white. So this has had 2 coats of undercoat and then 1 coat of eggshell white. It's the last coat to go on now today, and hopefully this will be finished. So better get me roller, get cracking. That was all a bit hectic, but now the ceiling's all painted. I think we'll put some new lights in there now, eh? So now with the ceiling all done, I think we need to tidy this little mess up before we put the new stern gear back in again. Now that's all painted out, let's get the stern gear back in there with a new bush. So these guys turned the job round for us within a week, which is brilliant. So that's the new bearing made by the lovely people at KPEC. So let's get that back to the yard and get it fitted. Good afternoon, people. What a lovely sunny late February afternoon we have here. Right, back to the job in hand. But first, there's my side doors that you saw I was making in a previous video. I glanced upon them. They're all done, ready to go back onto tier, which is one of our hire boats. Never using MDF ever again. Stern gear for Hector. So there we have our new bush, which goes into the tube, which I've given a coat of paint. We have a new shaft, and the stuffing box, that's all been cleaned up, half cut plinth. Then on the other end of it, we've changing the propeller out. It had a very rashed up 17x10 on there, and I'm changing it up to an 18x12, which is what I run on all my other hire boats. It works quite well. So let's get this thing all assembled and ready to put back into the back of Hector. So it's a lovely evening here. It's Friday, just gone 5 o'clock. Jane's getting tea ready to go out tomorrow. Beautiful. So that is this stern gear all back together, apart from the glam packing that goes inside here. I'm going to do that in the morning because I want to get off home. So the observant ones of you will have noticed that this boat is actually hydraulically driven, meaning that the prop shaft is linked up to this motor here that goes to a pump which is on the back of the engine. Hector's a little bit of an unusual setup in the fact that the engine for this boat is at the front, which gives us quite a lot more space, obviously, at the back. Right, I'm off home. Let's crack on with this tomorrow. Good morning, people. It's Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock. And apart from that train that you can probably hear, we had a bit of a frost last night, -3 I believe. Got the heating going on here as that's going out today on hire. Back onto Hector. So, glam packing. That's all done. One day I might do a tutorial of how I do my glam packing, but it was early, 7:30 this morning when I got this done. So now, just got to start it up and see what gives. So what we're going to do is push some grease down that. I have in the cupboard here a stern tube greaser, and what that does is via this pipe here pushes grease into the stern gear. So I'm just tightening it up now. I've already ran some down it, but this is the last little bit probably. And as you can see, just got a little ring of grease there. Little ring of grease there. That's what we want. And we want it on the outside as well. So let's go and have a look. So as you can see, we've pushed loads of grease through that, which means that the whole phosphor bronze bearing has got grease around it, which is what we want. Okay. All that remains now is to put Hector back in the water and then put the woodwork back in after I've checked to make sure we've got no issues or leaks.